Okay, finally, first ride of the year on my Venture. Here in western Pennsylvania. I had to put a little bit of air in the rear tire. The rear shock held air all winter. It had 28 pounds when I checked it, and the forks each had around 6 pounds in them. Now, being that it's cold, I'm allowing for the cold air to compress, to shrink, to reduce pressure. So I didn't wash it. I did clean it with the Honda spray detailer that I've been using for over 30 years before winter. But I just want to get out there. Now, I turned my gas on to run. I did start it twice over the winter after shaking the gas, the tank, making sure that the gas got sort of blended, because the ethanol is going to go to the bottom, and the ethanol absorbs water, and that's going to be at the bottom. So I'm not going to put it on reserve. I don't want reserve as a snorkel. There's a snorkel that goes up from the petcock into the gas tank, about that far, and it only uses fuel from here up. At the bottom is where the water and dirt and particles lay, blobs of water. So you never want to start your bike after it's been sitting for a month or so, or in my case 12 weeks. You don't want to turn it to reserve and use that water first. Okay. Are you going to start, baby? Give it a little bit of, well, the full choke. I checked the oil, the tires. You have to let Ventures warm up. I know the federal government wants everybody to start their cars and drive away immediately. That's to save gas. At least they had that suggestion a few years ago. But in the owner's manual on these Ventures, they say in the owner's manual, warm them up. You've got to warm it up. And I was going up the hill here, and there's a turn there going uphill. And I hit the gas, and it bogged. And I almost lost it because it was cold. So I always let it warm up. But the oil's good, the water's good, tire pressures are good, fork pressures are good, shock pressure is good. Everything kind of looks good. The brake light works. Headlight was working. See if my turning signals work. Yes, yes. And I checked my oil level by sight, and then I checked it by turning the switch off in the off position with the key on, and hit the starter, and your red light will come on here, indicating that the system that warns you if your oil level is low, not your oil pressure, your oil level. If your oil level is low, you will get a red light. And you test the system by turning this to the off position, turn the key on, and hit the starter, and that red light should light up. And if it comes on, that means your system is working, that it will warn you. Okay. Turn off. See if she has throttle response. Yes, she does. These carburetors have heaters on them, and they must be pulling some amps, because I think it has a 10 amp fuse, and the fuse is mounted right in front of the brake pedal in this panel right there. The fuse for the cigarette lighter The sound system and the carburetor heaters are in there. Okay. A little bit of salt remnants on the road. I got my sunny type glasses on. I believe I'll go to the right. Somebody new moved in there about a year ago. He's got a whole garage and driveway full of motorcycles. Hi, John. How much gas do I have? Had half a tank. Come on, buddy, I'm not in a hurry. Oh, it feels like I just got out of jail. Oh. Winter is a long time between rides. Especially here in western Pennsylvania. Didn't get a lot of snow all at once. $35,633 mileage. Scuff the tires up a little bit. I think it's supposed to go up in the mid-70s today. It's only the middle of March. But contrary to what they want us to believe, the temperatures over the winter here have been below average. But they don't mention that too often, but they will tell you if temperatures are above normal. Got to remember that people, especially non-motorcyclists, aren't subconsciously looking for a motorcycle when they're about to pull out. They're not looking for bicycles either. They're looking for cars, trucks, maybe a bus. But gotta keep that in mind, especially at the beginning of the season. She's carbureting like she should. I did completely run the carburetors completely out of fuel before I turned the key off in December. I shut the gas, the petcock off, and let the bike sputter to a stop all by itself. So there was no leftover fuel in the carburetors to plug up the jets and the nozzle and possibly the needle and seat. Yeah, she's carbureting well. Just off idle, running on the pilot jet. She started easy, so my vacuum diaphragms must all be intact. I think I'll go left here and hope I don't get hit from behind. That was close, buddy. I'll get her on the main jet, get the needle all the way up once I get some open road. And go get some fresh gasoline. No coughing or choking there. So I guess the carburetors are okay. Another couple weeks it'll be beautiful out here. All the trees will be coming back. They're starting to get some buds on them right now, like right there. The willows are usually first. I want to go to a busy gas station to get some gas. I treated this leather tank bra with antique leather dressing last year. It's looking good. It was looking pretty dry before, and now it looks like it should. It's like a Vaseline, but it's oils for leather. It kind of started looking like these gloves. They're sun bleached. Okay. The one on the right, lady. That's it. I haven't been up here. For those that don't know, I'm sure most of you know, but this machine has an integrated brake system, I'm pretty sure. What does that mean? That means when you use the brake pedal, you're using the rear disc and one of the front discs. This lever here only operates one of the front discs, I think. That's the way the Ventures were in '83 when they came out, the 1200s, which, by the way, are the smoothest of the Ventures. I think they might have even been the fastest. I know they were turning 12-second quarter miles, pushing this barn door size windshield and the mirrors on there. That's what the motorcycle magazines were getting them to do in a quarter mile. 12s, they were in the 12s. So they were the smoothest and the hot rods. But they had a weak second gear, just like the old triple Yamahas. I passed on buying a lot of those, a few of those Yamaha XS750 triples. I did buy one about 10 years ago, a garage barn find I found. It was beautiful. And I wasn't going to buy it, but it was the original owner. And I resurrected it, and it had second gear. But I always baby second gear in every motorcycle. That's the one that's going to blow. Because all those shafts with all that torque behind it, and you're shifting gears, that's a pretty violent process that goes on inside a motorcycle transmission. When you shift to second, that's quite a dead stop. So I go through first. And if I'm going to accelerate, I wait till I get to third. And I never wind first up, because you get all those shafts wound up, and then you shift to second and you expect them to come to a dead stop, and engaging the dogs, literally dogs, D-O-G-S, like oh, roof, roof, dogs, that's what they're called. which are little blocks of metal on the sides of the gears that slide over to engage other holes that shape in the gear next to it. They get rounded off from poor shifting habits, and then they end up getting sloped instead of squared. Anyway, I've always babied transmissions. If you ever miss a shift, pull the clutch in, let the revs come down, and shift up. Never shift down. Head edges. Slippy. Boy, it feels like winter was never here. At least my bike didn't notice. I still have to take my NT 700 DeVille out today. Stretch its legs when I get home. But today's Friday, and it's fish fry night. Here in the churches, a lot of the churches have fish fries. On Fridays. So me and my tomato are going to go out and get fish on Friday night. Ooh, as usual. Got to watch for the potholes this time of year too. You got to relearn the road, see what the potholes are. Well, that's enough for now.